This is Tan in Seattle, Washington, interested in Reddit, ticker symbol RDDT. AJ, what are you thinking with Reddit? Casey, is this one that you've delved in at all?
I haven't traded it, but I mean, everybody knows about Reddit. It's a big deal.
Well, Tan, and you guys know that when I like my premium selling strategies, which are just so reliable, they're based on boring stocks that aren't in the news that we can sell premium against and make a consistent income out of it. So Reddit's in the news, right? And Reddit just went public, so I have no history to base anything on. So this is falling in my view, kind of in the whole speculative kind of like, am I a gambler or not? Do I want to see if this is going to be one of those popcorn kernels that pops or doesn't pop? You could definitely, I think that there's a healthy options chain already on this. Let me jump over and look at the options chain. I'm in Casey's. I know about it, but I haven't looked at it because it's a little bit too fresh. But yeah, people are trading options against it. So there's definitely a lot of hedging. There's a lot of gambling against it. One of the things that you could think about, which we've talked about on this show, is watching the implied volatility specifically on Reddit, because I'm trying to think of what would be the sure play, right? I'm not sure if we can do a play based on its direction, because I don't know if we know its direction. I know that the users of Reddit aren't so excited about Reddit being a company. So would you get a revolt? All could change the price of Reddit in a moment. So for me, that's not the consistent play, but maybe there's a play in volatility. Like for instance, is implied volatility going up or down? Because you can remember, options give us the ability to profit on a lot more than just price movement. We can profit on time passing by. We can profit on this whole concept of fear and confidence, right? So if we see, for instance, that all of a sudden there's an increase in fear around what might happen with Reddit, we can watch those implied volatilities. We want to be a seller of options because our options that we sell, would definitely benefit from that change in the implied volatility. So, there's a couple of different plays, but my knee-jerk reaction is let this public company mature a little bit and find out where it's going. What do you think, Casey?
Well, I think that's a great analysis, and I always like to have friends like AJ around because I'm kind of like, AJ says, what's the sure play? And the thing that comes into my mind is like, okay, what's the way I can make the most money the fastest? Right. And so I'm like this guy who's made a ton of mistakes and a lot of high risk stuff because I think like that. And that's a good thing. It's a strength, but it's also a weakness. And same with AJ, he's more conservative, and that's a strength for him as well. And so I like to get people around me like that. But the way I would look at this is like, okay, is there a possibility that this thing could really, really go? And what I would be looking for, and I haven't done research on this, but what I would be looking for is their growth expectations, right? And what their revenues are saying. If their revenue growth in the past has been good and there's a possibility for continued growth, then even if the charts are down, then it would be a great potential trade, especially maybe something that you would maybe dollar cost average into your portfolio. Add in, I've made some very great and profitable positions on IPOs. And one specific one that I just recently did was Coinbase. And Coinbase launched out and it was really high. And I paid like 300 something when it first came out. But I just believed in their growth, right? I was looking at the revenues. I knew crypto transactions were going to go up. So I just kept dollar cost averaging. And it went from 300 all the way down to like $36. But I just kept adding to the position. And when it was 36, I bought a big chunk because I just believed in the growth, right? And so that thing went from 36 all the way, it's like 200 right now. I was able to dollar cost average in about $68. And so my position went from 68 all the way up to where it is 200. And it on paper, it looked like a terrible trade because my first position was $330, but I had believed in the potential long term. And, you know, sometimes you just got to be patient with stuff.